So it is the Indian team who leads 1-0 in the 5-match Border Gavaskar series, and going into the second test match, the pink ball test match that is set to begin from the 6th of December in Adelaide. It is the hosts who are a little behind the Indian team, who look clearly favourites heading into that test match. Especially after the humiliating loss Australia suffered in the first test match, there are a lot of questions being asked in Australia about what the exact problems could be with that team. Sunil Gavaskar recently did talk about what the problems exactly are in Australian cricket and how much does he actually enjoy seeing it from the other end. He said the panic in the Australian ranks is palpable, with former players calling for heads to be chopped off and some hinting at cracks in the Australian team after Hazelwood's media interview at the end of the third day's play. Sunil Gavaskar, like always, did not mince his words, and he did talk about the kind of pressure that is there in the Australian setup, especially after the two series loss they have suffered. Last time India have toured them on the previous two occasions. It could become three out of three times with India leading this series. He did talk about the fact that the kind of pressure that there is there in the Australian camp that can be seen from the outside. He also talked about that many former players have hinted that that heads should be chopped off. By that, he definitely means that many players, it's time for a transition in the Australian team, and lots of former players have actually called for that about as well. Something that he also mentioned was that some even hint at the cracks that there could possibly be some differences in many players in that team, especially after what Josh Hazelwood had said on the end of third day's play during the first test match. Just to rewind back a little bit, he said that when he was asked about the huge target that the Australian team had to chase down in the second innings, to which he answered that if they could be doing it or not, to which Hazelwood was really blunt and answered that it is the batters who can answer this question. It is not his job to answer this question. Since this statement, so what Sunil Gavaskar could make out of that was not just him, many players from Australia, many former players, many experts also felt that he was that there could be some issues in that dressing room, that not everyone is on the same page. In fact, he even went ahead and elaborated on this point. He said that Hazelwood is out. He even tried to connect it with his injury that has ruled him out of the second test match, for which he said that Hazelwood is out of the second test with a supposed side strain. Strange, since nobody had noticed anything wrong with Hazelwood at the media conference. My story, mystery, the likes of which used to be common in India in the past. Now it's the Aussies, and like old MacDonald, I'm simply loving it. Sunil Gavaskar just being the Sunil Gavaskar that we all know of. He said that it's quite surprising how the way Josh Hazelwood, the premier bowler for the Australian team, in fact has the best numbers in pink ball test matches, suddenly got a side strain which ruled him out of the second test match, especially keeping in mind the kind of statements he made during the first test match. So what Sunil Gavaskar pointed out to was that why he also said that this used to be common in India, that we have seen previously that whenever some player used to be dropped from the Indian setup, it was always called that the specific player has a side strain. And that's what Sunil Gavaskar thinks that Australia has exactly done. He feels that the exclusion of Josh Hazelwood isn't because of the injury. In fact, it is because of the kind of statements that he made that in the during the first test match as well. So there's too many and he also said that he's simply loving what's going on the other end of, on the other hand, being an Indian supporter himself. So there's a lot going on in that Australian camp. Lots of people actually talking lots of things about the Australian team. The Australian team is down and out at this point of time, especially after the kind of batting performance their batters gave during the first test match. It's a very long series. It's a 5-match test series. We are just one test match into it. It's hard to predict how the series is going to turn from here, but what we can see from at this point is that the Australian team is definitely under some pressure and they would definitely want to change things around from the second test match. We'll have to wait and watch till the 6th of December about how things turn around from there, how things actually go. Will it be India who continues their thumping form like they did in the previous game, or will it be Australia who gives that counter punch this time around like they did during the last ping ball match that took place during India's tour down under in 2021? But for now, that is it from this video. For more such content, you know your one-stop destination, it's Sports Today. So if you haven't subscribed to us till now, do not forget to subscribe, and if you like this video, do press the like button as well.